Hello, this is Shag, and this is clearly not Pokemon, first of all. But I haven't posted videos in a little while, and I guess I thought I would try rambling a little bit about personal reasons why, while doing something irrelevant in the background. In this case, PSO2, which isn't entirely irrelevant, because it's most of what I've been doing this entire time. But, well, you see, I've probably explained before that I have depression, like officially, clinically diagnosed, take medication for it, seen therapists, not been helped much by therapists, honestly, and so on. And depression is garbage. It's terrible. It sucks having it. It makes you like sad for no reason, guilty about everything, other stuff like that, anxious about everything, despite not being anxiety disorder. Real barrel of fun times. So like, I guess I'll talk about what depression is like in more detail. So, I said it makes you feel guilty for everything. That includes feeling guilty for having depression, which probably doesn't make any sense, but like the more things I don't want to do because of it, the more I feel like I'm using it as an excuse or a crutch, which is baloney because it's not like I invented my depression. It's a real problem. Depression is not a crutch. It's a thing that would make you want a metaphorical crutch so that you could get through it easier. It's not the crutch itself. So there's that. There's like, heck, I even feel a little bit guilty sometimes about being in love, and that is completely insane. So I'm like, well, 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 it's like it's like picking favorites out of all of your best friends, right? No, shut up. That one part of my brain that says that. That's stupid. Love is amazing. If you haven't looked at my Twitter page in the last 2 months, you might not realize that I'm in love. And Stan is amazing, and I love them. But, yeah. Oh, hey, Shifta. You don't see that every day. So yeah, like, not even that can just completely erase depression or anything. It's pretty much the worst. It also has this fun little habit of inducing a self-defeating depression spiral upon you. And by that I'm like, first, you have depression, and you're in one of the depressive spells that it puts upon you. By which I mean that I'm not like super depressed 24/7. It's just kind of random when it happens. Sometimes prompted by something, but usually not. But first, that happens. Then I worry about all my problems and junk for a little while. Because depression makes you worry about everything too. And then, after a time, I might get to the part of my mindset where I say, wow, why am I complaining about all this junk when everyone else in the world has much worse problems. And then once you think that, then you think you're a terrible person, which you already kind of did already. But that amplifies that feeling, and you feel worse. And it just goes on and on from there in a lovely spiral of awfulness. So that's garbage. But now that I've explained all that, how about reasons or things that have been on my mind which have not been helping my depression? So maybe I should go into like history first. So all the way back in like middle school, high school, I was physically ill like all the time. There was a period where I had strep throat every other week. Like, that's not even an exaggeration. And I've always had really bad sinus stuff, despite having multiple surgeries on that area, which were supposed to, like, help. But being physically ill all the time and not going to school resulted in a lot of stress with, like, piles of work to do and junk like that. And then when I got to college, at the first part, I was still physically ill all the time and not going to class. And that works even less well in college than it did in high school. Eventually to the point where I sought help, got diagnosed with depression and given some medication, and then had to, eventually after that, I had to drop out, switch colleges to one closer to home, and only do like part-time student stuff, which I'm still doing. And even more recently than that, I realized, wow, I really hate school. I mean, I figured that out earlier, but like at first I was an English major, and for one reason or another, I figured out I didn't like that much. Like, it was either we demand that you are creative when we decide we want you to be, or let's interpret this literature in a sexual fashion when that's completely unnecessary. And around somewhere in that part, I took an intro to psychology class and decided, hey, psychology is actually really interesting, and I eventually switched my major to that. And recently, I've been realizing I don't like this either. The subject's interesting, but I have absolutely no desire to do any sort of work in the field. Also, I hate how every class has projects and essays and presentations in it. School is garbage. So even I can't even handle like like 3 classes that well, and well, that kind of makes me feel like a pathetic, worthless person who's not going to contribute well to society, for starters. But that sort of like feeds into the sort of stuff that I think about a lot, which doesn't help. Such as, wow, in life, there are not that many things which I enjoy. Like, at all. One of them, video games. Another one, friends, which includes family and relationships. And then, like, I bugs, sleeping, that's about it. Yeah. So it's that's kind of depressing. So I don't like doing things. And depression also makes it hard to be motivated to do anything at all, even things that I like, such as recording videos. So I'm like, I hate school, I hate work, I hate activity. Um, what the hell am I gonna do with my life? Like, there's not really a job that I would want, I don't think. I mean, yeah, this is the kind of problems that I have. I mean, my absolute ideal condition would be to make enough money off of my YouTube stuff to make it more than just a hobby. But I don't know how to do that. I mean, yes, snark, snark. It would be helpful for me to upload videos once in a while. But, like, did I just start doing LPs too late? Did I Did I have to start doing them on the Something Awful forums to have any degree of success? Like, I'm really thankful for all the people who do watch and support my videos. And I feel like a jerk for wanting more money out of this, because I feel like a jerk for like everything, as previously established. But, like, to make a reasonable amount of money that could constitute, like, something livable on, possibly, would mean I'd have to make about 10 times as much as I do now. And that seems unreasonable. And like, I guess I could get a quote-unquote real job. First, I would have to finish my degree, which I'm late in doing because part-time instead of full-time because I can't handle it. And then I'd have to find a job and also learn how to drive. I never did that either, actually. And that is partially that I don't feel like doing anything ever, and partially, like, I have a fear of driving. I mean, it's scary. You just get in a high-speed moving destructible object and try not to hit other high-speed moving destructible objects on the way from point A to point B. And if you do, you endanger not only yourself, but other people. Isn't that wonderful? Like, I don't live in an area with public transport readily available. So, man, I don't know. Let's see if I left anything out of my rambling. So let's see. Depression is garbage. It makes you feel bad, guilty, tired all the time, unmotivated, worrying, all of that stuff. It sounds like an excuse, but god damn it, it isn't. It's not like I chose. And, like, half the time, if you talk to people about depression, they're like, well, you're like, or I'm like, depression means that I have no drive or desire to do almost anything at all. And everyone's response, though they mean well, is usually, well, you just gotta do something. It just, I know, but at the same time, no. So yeah, depression sucks. Even other people with depression say things like that. Makes me feel like people just don't get it sometimes. But I know they mean well. And this is relevant to my YouTube channel, mostly because it's a primary reason that I have large gaps in content, such as recently. It's also relevant to my YouTube channel because that's like one of the only things I have that I'm interested in making a job out of. which seems like a difficult prospect that I don't know how to approach. Let's see. So yeah, kind of feel like I haven't done much with my life, that I'm not currently doing much, but I'm not entirely sure why I can't manage to do better than I am. That I've wasted time by not liking anything that I'm studying. That the school system is garbage, independent of my own personal garbage. And I'm sure there's other things. See, the problem with rambling off a big list of things is that I will always, 100% of the time, forget at least one thing. So I'm just sitting here stalling, trying to think of what I forgot, while simultaneously wondering if I should draw this out until this quest ends again, or if I should just abruptly stop. See, this is why it's a ramble, because it's not necessarily particularly going in a specific direction. Sort of like this quest, where you just wander around and random enemies from the entire game spawn, and then you kill them, and then other stuff happens, and it's ridiculous. I'm not entirely sure what's going on most of the time, so I have no idea what the average YouTube viewer of my stuff will be able to understand from this video. But I can at least be relatively pleased with how this ramble has gone. I was afraid that I would just forget everything that I had to say, and it turns out I guess I didn't. So, if you've made it this far, thank you for listening and watching. And thank you for listening to and watching my videos in general. And even if you, like, don't support me on Patreon, thank you. But if you do, thank you for that also. And thank you to friends and family and all that stuff. Basically, video games and other people are the only things in life that I enjoy. And that's kind of sad, but there you go. So whenever I just say I don't feel like it, this video is what that means. Refer back to here. Or if I haven't uploaded in a week or two, refer back to here. Or for the short version, just assume that I feel like a jerk for some reason or another, and would rather just take a nap. Because that's usually correct. Depression sucks. And that's the take-home lesson, I guess. Still trying to think if I forgot to say something. This quest is almost over again. What if I just emphasize again how much I appreciate all of my friends and followers and Stan By the way, I love Stan a hell of a lot. I don't know if you noticed, but if you saw my Twitter feed, like I said, it's basically like 50, no, 75% mushy nonsense and 25% crises, rambling, similar to this video. Except this video is more like 75-25 the other direction. I just felt it might be helpful to attempt to explain myself for both me and the viewer. See if people could get some understanding. Oh, I know what I forgot to say. I forgot to say at the start of the video that this feels like I'm just being a whiny, attention-seeking jerk but I'm doing it anyway. Because that's also probably nonsense. It also kind of feels like I'm just fishing for sympathy money, which is only slightly partially true because I really would like money. YouTube junk, probably my ideal job, like followed by professional hugger and lottery winner. But I think that's everything I had to say. And this has been going for, 20-ish minutes. So, this has been Shag. This is an explanation of my entire life. And next time on this channel, probably something else. Eventually. My shark is hungry. Alright, bye.